Beste vriendinnen en beste vrienden, beste troostekers, waarheidszoekers, beste dappere leeuwen en leeuwinnen. Vandaag, Gino van Friends for Truth, zou nog mijn eigen naam vergeten. Maar goed, ondertussen kennen jullie die wel, denk ik. Ik heb vandaag een mooie wandeling kunnen doen in de natuurreservaten hier in de streek. En in feite voel ik me wel gelukkig en blij. Een beetje vitamine D. Een beetje werken aan mijn immuniteit, dus jullie zullen dat ook best allemaal doen, zoveel mogelijk. Maar goed, dat is niet de reden van dat filmpje natuurlijk vandaag. We gaan vandaag terug een keer de combinatie Catherine Edwards die de vragen stelt met Tarot by Janine, die de vragen beantwoordt via de kaarten in feite, gaan beluisteren. Ik vond dat er een aantal interessante zaken in zitten. Er zitten een aantal persoonlijke zaken in ook, maar goed, ja, we nemen dat erbij, dat is ook een keer aangenaam. Maar het komt erop neer dat we vooral die andere zaken in feite dat ze behandelen willen in het oog laten springen. Dus ik ga terug mijn scherm delen, zoals steeds. Voilà, hier zijn ze. We gaan starten direct.
Hi Janine, how are you doing? Hi Catherine, I'm doing really good. How are you doing? I'm all right. I'm a bit tired today. I've had an exciting week, which I'll tell you all about as we go through. So I need my glasses to read my questions because it's been one of those long days. But I just wanted to say how much I loved your housewarming party and how beautiful it was that you shared that with us. And it was just fantastic. So thank you so much for doing that for everyone. It was a lot of fun, and we cut everybody off right when the real fun got started.
Dat is een van de persoonlijke dingen dat ze bespreken, dus een housewarming party dat ze gedaan hebben bij Tarot by Janine.
Some people said, what, you just poured the champagne and you kicked us out? Yeah, we had our own champagne for you. I certainly did. Anyway. So, and for anyone that hasn't seen, I think it came out yesterday, your Jean-Claude, Tamara and you interview is absolutely phenomenal. So if anyone hasn't watched that, I just wanted to give a shout out to that because I listened to it on my dog walk this morning, and actually I got quite emotional listening to it. There were a lot of really powerful things in that came across from the three of you. It was really wonderful. Yeah, it felt like it went really deep, that one for sure. Yeah, I was speaking to our mutual friend David Cohen about that, and I think it really was deep and really powerful. So if anyone hasn't had the time to watch that, that's definitely worth it. Awesome. So, as usual, we've got a whole range of questions today that I've been changing as the day comes through and more things come out and everything. But the first one I'm going to have a bit of fun with. Now, I asked last week about Daniel Craig. I love Daniel Craig. I'm here, Daniel, if you want. If you like cats, then I'm your woman. But I went to see the new movie. I never go to see movies, and I'm not going to give too much away because I know there's lots of people who haven't seen it, but the new James Bond No Way to Die movie, I was sitting there, I couldn't contain myself with how many messages are in that film. For anyone who's awake,
Nu spreken we over de nieuwe Bondfilm. Nu, ik ga ook niet naar de cinema, dus ik weet het niet. Maar goed, ik ken natuurlijk Daniel Craig wel. Ik weet natuurlijk wel welke Bondfilms dat ze bedoelen. Er zou blijkbaar een nieuwe uitgekomen zijn nu, die in de cinemas loopt op dit moment. Zeker in de UK, waar dat Catherine woont. Dus ja, blijkbaar zou dat vol zitten met berichten. Allee, dus messages, eigenlijk berichten. Allee, informatie voor ons in feite, voor de mensen. Van wat er eigenlijk op dit moment gaande is, wat er gebeurt. Dat zou dus gewoon boomvol zitten, dat die film met constant aanwijzingen naar wat er nu op dit moment aan het gebeuren is.
I need to see it. There's so many messages in that film that I need to see it 10 more times just to even, because I couldn't make this. I was driving my husband mad. I was going, that's because this, that's because this. He's like, oh, shut up. Just watch James. But so I wanted to ask you and the cards, is that film made that? So the latest James Bond film, No Way to Die.
De vraag dat ze zal stellen is die film gemaakt door de witte krachten of door de zwarte krachten? Wie zit er eigenlijk achter deze film?
Daniel Craig's last. Is it made by the white hats or the black hats? Is my first question on it. Might need a swig of wine for this one. I don't want to be by the good guys. So we got a yes, put in place, and by who? Well, these are really well aspected together. So I'd say the good guys, but maybe not directly the white hats.
Ze ziet niet direct de witte krachten in de zin van de topalliantie in feite, maar ze ziet meer in feite dat de alliantie er wel zo achter zit, maar dat er eigenlijk achterliggende goede krachten eigenlijk deze film gemaakt hebben.
Maybe it had some direction from really wise old souls or off-worlders or ancient civilization. Maybe they even live here on Earth. I feel like there's a lot of help right now to humans from all kinds of directions, including off-worlders and or maybe like other beings that live amongst us that we don't literally know about yet or something. But anyway, it had a lot of influence. But interesting, the person who might have wrote the actual script or whatever may not have realized they were being channeled to. Wow. Feel like they infiltrated the person writing it and sort of utilized, or sometimes we get these channeled things as artists or writers or whatever. I'm telling you, I think it's the universe's way of putting things out there through us. I agree. I mean, I think that's so important, Janine, because anyone who sees that's so good. I've got an excuse to go back and see it again now then, because it is absolutely unbelievable. As I said, I won't give too much away because a lot of you haven't seen it, but unbelievable, the messages in that film. I would recommend any one of our audience to see that for that reason, to see. So my next question on that is the delay. The film was delayed by a couple of years because of the whole scandemic, but is the timing of this release significant in terms of because I can't give too much.
De film was een paar jaar in feite vertraagd door natuurlijk heel de C-biowapen scandemic. Maar goed, stelt ze de vraag, ja, heeft die timing ook iets te betekenen dat het nu uitkomt?
Much way, but the storyline revolves around, it's very similar to what's going on in terms of targeted dispatching of certain people. So is it released now for a reason? Yep. Yeah. Everything, all the messages in it are very clearly pointing towards things that are happening or going to happen or coming. Yeah. Okay, this is really important because you'll have to go and see it, Janine. Well, are you guys going to theaters? I don't know if our theater.
Ja, dus Catherine zegt, ja, je moet gaan bekijken, maar inderdaad, het is wel zo dat in heel veel landen nu met die sanitaire passen, dat mensen die niet ingeënt zijn, natuurlijk zelfs niet kunnen gaan kijken in feite. Dus zegt ze, ja, dat het bij Janine zegt, ja, ik ga in feite geen films gaan bekijken, en zeker geen zo'n films. Maar in feite heel veel andere mensen kunnen hem ook niet gaan bekijken, omdat ze op een of andere manier belemmerd zijn.
We're still allowed at the moment without the dreaded pass, because Jean-Claude was saying that he couldn't. So if not, I'll have to tell you all about it, because honestly, I could not believe, I knew there would be some messages in it, but I didn't realise there would be that much in it. It is really just packed from start to finish with messages for us all. So quite incredible, actually. Oh wow, okay, that's really good. So anyone who's allowed to go and see it, let us know and let us know what you think. But I'm so pleased because there's some really important things that when it all comes out, I think it's going to click into place for so many people. That. Yep. So the next question isn't quite such a positive one. Okay, the passport that's being introduced all around the world, is this a cover-up to introduce the system that they've got in China, where everything is.
Dus stelt ze de vraag in feite of dat dus de sanitaire passen, dat ze in heel veel landen en staten in feite introduceren. De vraag dat Catherine stelde is dat eigenlijk, laten we zeggen, de intrede, dat dus de slechte krachten in feite proberen op ons te zetten. Zoals dat het in China is met heel dat sociaal puntensysteem, waar dat ondertussen denk ik 26 miljoen Chinezen in feite zelfs geen openbare vervoer meer kunnen nemen. Is dat dus, laten we zeggen, het eerste stuk van dat wat ze willen introduceren bij ons, de slechte krachten.
Is controlled electronically and linked to that passport, including your money. Let's say the actual name of the system.
You bet. That was the original idea. It was planned by Deep State.
Dus de kabal is inderdaad, dat was inderdaad hun doel, om zo op die manier ons inderdaad naar dat Chinees heel slechte systeem te brengen, waar dat we eigenlijk helemaal vastzitten, helemaal in slavernij. Dat is zeker het originele idee, natuurlijk. Pardon, excuseer mensen. Maar zoals dat we weten zal dat uiteraard er nooit komen. Ze proberen nog van alles, maar ze zijn volop aan het verliezen. Dus, maar ondertussen kunnen ze nog veel kwaad doen natuurlijk. Ik heb dat al veel gezegd.
State, which we know is all over the world, infiltrated all governments, social medias, probably invented social media. Frankly, they've been utilizing social media since the beginning of its conception, as far as I'm concerned. The TV was probably designed and programming to do exactly that. They've been putting it in plain sight for years and years. So yeah, secretly, that's what the plan was for sure. Okay, it's been largely taken over, so that's been a battleground. That is still a battleground. They're still duking it out because that's their last.
Dus dat is in feite dat ze de media en dergelijke, dus big tech zit er allemaal tussen, het zit allemaal verweven met elkaar natuurlijk. En zegt ja, dat is eigenlijk een battleground, dus zodat de oorlog nog volop woedt in feite. Tussen de witte krachten en de goede en de slechte krachten in feite. Dus dat is eigenlijk nog altijd volop bezig, maar ik denk persoonlijk dat de witte krachten volop aan het winnen zijn.
Front is the media pushing that and all the lies that go along with that, like how many people afflicted by the thing and how many people getting the how many aren't, and we discovered with Tamara that they absolutely didn't have near the numbers they're saying they do, as far as people going along with.
Dus inderdaad, ze hebben daar een gesprek gehad, Jean-Claude, de bij Janine en Tamara van Australië, die ook een helderziende is, kaartmeester enzovoort, dat ze dan dieper gekeken hebben over ook de cijfers, dat ze officieel naar voren brengen. En zij komen op het punt dat in feite de cijfers die officieel naar voren gebracht worden, zogezegd wie dat de inenting had en wie dat ze niet genomen heeft, dat dat absoluut niet klopt. Dat dat compleet uit de denk getrokken is. Dus de mensen hebben absoluut niet zoveel ingeënt zoals dat ze ons proberen te laten geloven.
There's way less than they're telling you, way less. And actually, if you go down to Calgary around 17th Avenue, on the weekends, all kinds of people are making picnics outside of restaurants, hundreds and hundreds all along the streets with their blankets when it was warm, and that was last weekend and the weekend before, and they're like eating outside and bringing picnics, which is brilliant.
Ook in Calgary, Canada, zegt ze nu, zijn ze dus ook volop bezig met de picknicken op lakens dat ze meebrengen voor de restaurants. Die QR-codes en toestanden sanitaire passen eisen van de mensen, om duidelijk te maken dat ze niet akkoord zijn, zoals dat eigenlijk in Frankrijk begonnen is eigenlijk. Uiteindelijk picknicken voor de restaurants zelf in de straat.
I love it. That's what they did in France, didn't they? Good in France. So this is the thing, is people are so resilient and you will find a way. I must just say, I wish I could take my camera outside. If you can just all picture, my husband is trying to catch the 3 guinea pigs to put them away for the night. It's like a comedy show. He's chasing these guinea pigs around in their outside pen. So he's crawling around. It's the funniest thing I've ever seen. So if I look distracted, that's why.
That's funny.
So I know, again, this came up in a couple of your other videos. So mid-December is quite a crucial date in lots of different countries. So I know it was mentioned in the land of the kangaroos that they couldn't extend their emergency powers past mid-December. And also in the UK.
U brengt iets naar voren, dus blijkbaar midden december zou blijkbaar een cruciale datum zijn, waar dat ze blijkbaar zo kan zeggen, de wetten dat ze daar in Australië doen en ook in de UK blijkbaar kunnen maar tot midden december doorgaan of zoiets. Ja, ik begrijp het niet, omdat ik niet 100% weet over wat dat ze praat. Maar nu gaan ze vragen in feite of dat die midden december datum die op verschillende niveaus gebruikt wordt, of dat eigenlijk een betekenis heeft, of wat de betekenis is.
Okay, there's something that's come out that shows that we, the exemptions to the new passport, there will be no exemptions past mid-December. So this mid-December seems quite a crucial time, which is probably explains all the pushing. Can we ask the cards about, I'm trying to think exactly how to phrase it, why this mid-December, and are there evil plans going to be flummoxed before then?
Interesting. It's definitely why they're pushing things. So that might be.
Het feit dat ze nu zodanig pousseren zijn, dat bijvoorbeeld ook Biden in Amerika zegt dat er 100 miljoen moeten verplicht, alleen verschillende, laten we zeggen, beroepsomstandigheden moeten verplicht ingeënt worden. En in andere landen uiteraard was ook enorm duwen, ja, met die sanitaire pas. Dus uiteraard een omgekeerde duw om je toch te verplichten naar die inentingen. En de reden, zegt ze, is dat eigenlijk 15 december blijkbaar, of midden december blijkbaar ook voor de kabal zeer belangrijk is. En nu gaat ze dat eigenlijk uitleggen.
I got the feeling as soon as you said it, that they have some kind of deal to leave the earth, some of the high up evildoers.
Dus de hogerop kabal, waar ik dan eerder denk aan de reptiliëns, draconiëns, dus eigenlijk de top van de piramides volgens mij zijn buitenaardse negatieve krachten in feite, die hier al duizenden jaren in feite ons eigenlijk misbruiken. En dus in die zin zou er een soort charter zijn, akkoord, dat ze tegen midden december van 2021 dienen in feite verplicht de aarde te verlaten.
So they're still pushing to get everything reversed as if it will, or do as much damage on the way out. So this feels like it's because they're going to be leaving. And right away when you said that, I got they have a date that they some deal with, with, I think, off-worlders. Yeah, I think that there's some kind of something will go into effect then, and it has something to do with galactic forces. Yeah, so I think those dates are probably really important because that's their bitter end. But I think.
Ze zien in feite dat dus de reptiliëns, draconiëns in feite dus een akkoord gesloten hebben in feite met de Galactische Federatie, dat de lichtwezens in feite die van op een hoger niveau zitten dan wij, dat ze op dat moment moeten verdwenen zijn, of dat ze waarschijnlijk op dat moment anders gewoon door die Galactische Federatie uitgeroeid worden. Dus ze moeten de aarde verlaten hebben. Maar ondertussen proberen ze nog zoveel schade aan te richten, zoals de verbrande aarde, zoals dat ze noemen in veel oorlogen vroeger. Dus ze moesten op een bepaald moment bepaalde strijdkrachten of legers door omstandigheden in feite hadden verloren. Ze moesten verlaten in feite, maar ze lieten eigenlijk een verbrande aarde, verschroeide aarde achter. Dus ze weten dat ze weg moeten, maar ze gunnen het niet aan een ander om toch een goed leven te hebben. Dus ze maken alles zoveel mogelijk kapot wat ze achterlaten.
I think they're leaving before that. I think they're going to work. There's lots of opportunities and ways that they could be officially smoldering before that, which, is obviously we're rooting for that.
We really are. Come and get them up there. We're giving you permission to come and get them early. We want them gone really quickly. But that really rings true. And wouldn't that be the best Christmas present ever for everyone to have them carried off. I'd quite like to see them going though. That would be really good. So, in France this week, there's been actually in quite a lot of the...
Ja, in Frankrijk heb ik dat ook op mijn Telegram gezet. Dus dat kwam eigenlijk van de mainstream media. Hebben dus een rapport uitgebracht dat er dus inderdaad een enorme misbruik van kinderen geweest is van 1950 tot 2020 door de Franse katholieke kerk en dus door de priesters daar. Ze spreken daarover 250 tot andere bronnen zeggen 330.000 kinderen die over die periode, en misschien nog veel meer natuurlijk, die niet officieel daar in het rapport staan, en over 3000 priesters blijkbaar, of andere religieuzen die kinderen misbruikt zouden hebben, misschien ook nog veel meer. Maar het komt erop neer dat dat een enorme rapport is. Maar ondertussen wil ik toch wel het volgende zeggen, dat er daar ook andere analisten dus het volgende over denken, dat dat eigenlijk terug een manier is van de kabal. Maar natuurlijk het belangrijkste, die eigenlijk, hoe raar dat ook mogen zijn, het belangrijkste is eigenlijk de audits in Amerika. Heel de fraude. Dat dat eigenlijk de domino is die alles moet laten vallen. Want natuurlijk over pedofilie en misbruik van kinderen in de katholieke kerk, ja, daar zijn we ondertussen al 15, 20 jaar mee bezig. Dus nu brengen ze dat gigantisch rapport uit, in feite, via de MSN. Dus ja, als de mainstream media iets uitbrengt, moeten we heel wat vragen stellen. En dat wordt verwacht. Het is goed dat we dat natuurlijk nu officieel allemaal op ons bord krijgen. Voor de niet-gelovers dat dat effectief allemaal uitkomt. Maar eigenlijk doen ze dat voor ons aandacht erop te drijven, omdat er nog iets veel groter is aan de andere kant. En dat is ons eigenlijk een magier. Die zegt, kijk naar die land, maar eigenlijk die land is veel belangrijker. Vandaar gebeurt het. Dus dat is wat ik er zou willen aan toevoegen.
French mainstream media, some horrific exposures about what's been going on in the Catholic Church.
Yeah, I saw that.
And really, I mean, stuff that I think most people knew was going on, but it's still really, really horrible to realise the scale of this. Now, do the cards think that this is a precursor to exposing the Vatican and the person in the robes that lives there?
It's actually a desperate attempt by the bad guys, if you can believe it, to shine the light on. They're trying to take attention away from some other people that are going to be going down. So that's how bad it is for these guys. They do anything. They're throwing their own selves under the bus. So they're going to, they're giving you those guys.
Ja, de demonische, satanische dodencultus, de kabal in feite, is absoluut geen homogene bende die elkaar zo graag zien. Door het feit dat ze demonen zijn, zien ze dus niemand anders graag dan zichzelf. Dus met andere woorden, nu natuurlijk zie je dat meer en meer. R. Kelly ook bijvoorbeeld, is er ook een aantal andere stars onder de bus aan het gooien. Dus ze gaan dus elkaar verlinken, dat niet gewoon is, verraden, tot en met. Omdat ze dus alleen maar geïnteresseerd zijn om zichzelf te redden of misschien proberen zo weinig mogelijk straf te hebben of misschien niet geëxecuteerd te worden. Kortom, in feite, dat is wat dat Taroba Janine nu ook ziet, in feite, dat is dat ook in feite. Ze gooien iets heel zwaars in feite, officieel open in feite en bloot. Maar in feite is dus wat er uitkomt nog veel zwaarder. En dus geven ze dat in feite als aas. Of dat we zouden kijken naar dat en dat we vergeten dat aan de andere kant iets veel zwaarders uitkomt.
Hoping that you don't pay attention to what's coming out about them. Because already the Vatican was rounded up and taken over a long time ago. Like anybody who lives around there, let us know if you've seen tours going in there. Are things normal? I don't think they've been normal for a while there. Something's fishy about that. So, they even had the lights off for quite a while, kind of like the White House. By the way, the White House on the day that all the shenanigans happened with Facebook and Instagram and everything, so Monday, I think, there was a great red lights lit up the lighthouse
Nee, dat is niet juist. Dat was al vrijdag en zaterdag. De paar dagen voordat Facebook naar beneden gegaan is, in feite begin van oktober, is inderdaad het Witte Huis volledig rood gekleurd. En dat is waarschijnlijk voor aan te tonen dus dat Red Oktober, dus rode oktober, volop begonnen is. En natuurlijk Facebook is dan een van de elementen of stappen die gebeuren.
The White House that night, red.
Wow. Red
Yeah,
October.
all lit up in red October.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. There's just so much. I found it quite hard actually over the last 2 weeks to keep up with everything.
Yeah.
This is just so much coming out. That's just amazing. And doesn't that just sum up how demonic things are? They will just chuck anyone associated with the church under the bus straight away. And we've always known that there's no loyalty in this group whatsoever. And that is going to be a key part of their downfall, because I've also seen, we spoke, I think it was last week, about R. Kelly and him being convicted for his sex crimes against minors and women. And I've also seen reports that he said he's going to be bringing a lot of other stars down with him. Yep. Yeah, and he will be. I saw on Telegram just before we came in, Janine, but I just saw a couple of Telegram channels showing it, that today in Washington, the new Homeland Security building, there was an explosion.
Ja, dat heb ik ook gezien, die explosie die gebeurd is. En nu vraagt ze waarom zou er daar een explosie gebeurd zijn in dat gebouw.
Explosion in it. I don't know if you've seen that.
Toutes les chaussures à 10 €. Les bottes et bottines Just Fab se déclinent dans tellement de couleurs et de styles différents.
No, I didn't.
Can we ask cards about that, and just if they've got what they can tell us about the significance of that?
Good guy op. Something to the advantage of human.
Het is de witte krachten die dat gebouw eigenlijk aangevallen hebben en die explosie hebben doen ontstaan, omdat dat gezien wordt als een hoofdkwartier of iets anders van de zwarte krachten, die dus moest vernield worden.
Moments happened. When that happened, something they've been wanting to do for a while. So all the cards on that main line are really, really positive. This was in the past. So something was happening, or something was there that really needed either cleaned up or cleared out, because there's a moving out of troubled waters. So victory for humans, something they've wanted to do for a long time. So it was, maybe the explosion was covering up something they were doing. Yeah, so here's how the bad guys feel about it. So they got their head.
En dat is dat de zwarte krachten erover denken dat een hoofdkwartier in feite vernield is van informatie, dat ze er niet meer aan geraken. Dus ze zijn dus verdrietig.
Hands on something. I'm thinking paperwork.
Yeah.
I'm thinking paperwork. And it also made it so it was being used for something for the bad guys, whether that's you got somewhere through there, or there's something being utilized there that is no longer, they're not able to access. So it cut off some kind of access point, whether that was an information access, or was it like a headquarters for information for the bad guys. So it's like they're cutting them off at all their passes.
Brilliant. Absolutely fantastic. Yeah, I'll have a look more after we finish about that, because it's something I just saw today, but it was definitely doing the rounds. So that's quite amazing.
I did have a really interesting kind of vision on Monday that I haven't actually shared. I kind of.
Je luistert dat ze als medium een vision had heeft maandag, dus dat was eigenlijk op 4 oktober. En ze heeft daar nog niet, de eerste maal dat ze hem nu naar bloed geeft, Janine, omdat ze er een beetje over zit te nadenken heeft, in feite nu gaat ze hem uitleggen welke vision dat ze had.
Been letting it percolate so I could understand it, but it was like something just popped in my head that said, Mr. T always gets even, and he would never leave something half done. That's not his style. And it was this weird calmness that came over me. That's like there's so many things planned they're getting them while they're down, and they're just going to keep like bringing it this whole month, and that's why they called it but this color of
haar droomvision, of hoe dat ik mag noemen, of hoe dat ze doorkreeg in feite, was dat Mr. T, dus Trump in feite, dus en heeft inderdaad eerst gekend zo'n karakter te hebben dat hij in feite eigenlijk een beetje oog om oog, tand om tand is eigenlijk als mens. Dus dat hij zeker en vast niet een begonnen zaak zou achterlaten zonder dat het eigenlijk afgewerkt is. En meestal wint hij alles. Dus dat zal waarschijnlijk, of bijna zeker nu ook zo zijn, want God staat achter hem. Dus hij laat in feite niet iets zomaar achter. Eigenlijk, wat ik daarmee wil zeggen, dat is dat er dus heel wat staat aan te komen en zij denkt dat het in oktober is.
October, because they're hammering them, and I just got this calm feeling, and this little voice in me said, he would never, that is not his style, he would never lose, something like that he worked this hard for, and his whole family was put in what they were put through. He would never just give that up. He's absolutely in the background doing all kinds of stuff, him and his team there. Not to say he's a savior, and we're not saying that, but I am saying they got all kinds of things planned for these guys.
Ja, mensen zeggen ook als ik zeg, ja, maar we hebben de militairen nodig, we hebben de alliantie nodig, we hebben Trump is inderdaad het gezicht daarvan, dat is een heel groot team natuurlijk, mensen die erachter zitten wereldwijd. En dus ik zeg altijd, zij zijn zeer belangrijk, want zonder hun kunnen wij in feite dat niet doen. Je kunt zeggen, ja, het volk, dit gaat over het volk, ja, wij moeten opstaan, ja, we moeten protesteren, ja, uiteraard. We moeten tonen dat we er volledig achter staan, achter het nieuwe plan, achter de nieuwe wereld, de Great Awakening enzovoort. Maar zonder die krachten en dat zij dus dat allemaal structureren en oplossen voor ons, dan zouden we nergens geraken, mensen. Wees realistisch.
Yeah, we can't personally, we wouldn't even know about the deep state dark cult to the extent we do if it wasn't for that group, the letter of the alphabet group. We wouldn't even know about this. So we did need help. We can't just do it ourselves. We needed guidance. And yeah, we got a part to play, but there's also a large, incredible group working on the behalf of humanity. So I like to put them both in there. I don't like to just excommunicate them like they didn't do anything. They've been working the alliance for 20 years at least, maybe longer.
Veel langer.
I think it's
I like to mention.
Yeah, credit where credit's due, because any war is a strategy that involves the troops in the trenches, so to speak. It involves the people planning the things, and it's everyone using their different skills where they can. And I think it's really important we give these people the credit, because as you say, we wouldn't have known any of this, and we wouldn't have been able to have the foot soldiers come up and do their bits and everything had they not set the scene and got it to a stage where we could do that. So
ja, alles begon met de alliantie hier, dus de letter 17 zijn ze, omdat we die letter niet veel mogen uitspreken. En dus de drops die daar, de 5000, denk ik 700 of 300, ik weet het niet van buiten, drops die gebeurd zijn met allemaal informatie gedurende jaren in feite, die dan opgenomen zijn door alle soort journalisten al gezocht is, die dan in feite wereldwijd verspreid geweest is, die dan ook bij iedereen kwam. Zonder dat mensen, ze hebben gelijk allebei, gingen gewoon wel niks geweten hebben. Dan liepen we nog altijd like zombies rond.
So important. Every single bit of the jigsaw puzzle, everyone's got a place to, an important part to play, and we still have, haven't we? We've still got to keep up and finish the job off.
Yeah, because we're the ones going to benefit on the other side of this, because we won't be enslaved anymore. And we're going to have to rethink everything, and it'll be a lot of hard work. So I'm not underestimating, because we'll have to start from scratch, but at least we'll know where exactly we stand, where in the past we were in a complete matrix illusion. At least we'll be standing on sovereign ground, going, okay, how do we build this?
Dat is vooruithanden, eenmaal dat we inderdaad de oorlog gewonnen hebben. Gaan we natuurlijk, dat gaat niet gemakkelijk zijn, zeggen ze inderdaad. Het zal zelfs zeer moeilijk zijn, mensen. Nu waar we naartoe gaan, onze nieuwe wereld opbouwen. We gaan allemaal niet alleen maar de handen uit de mouwen steken, maar ik denk dat we geen mouwen meer gaan hebben. Ik denk dat we gewoon keihard gaan werken allemaal. Dus we gaan niet anders kunnen, mensen. Niet? Dus het zal zeer zwaar zijn, maar zoals dat Janine zegt, we gaan tenminste weten dat we soevereine, vrije mensen zijn en dat we echt werken voor het volk in feite en voor onszelf. En niet voor een aantal slavendrijvers die ons al duizenden jaren uitmaken.
Properly. And we are going to have to work to make sure and ensure that something like this can never happen to humans again. That's going to be our job going forward.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, you can't make good decisions when the basis of all the decisions you've been making have been on lies. And that's the beauty, is once we find out the real situation, we can really make massive leaps forward for the whole of the world and beyond. Oh, it's so exciting, isn't it? Now, we've had a lot of talk over this process about there being like a second Nuremberg trial, and there's things popping up in every single country where these.
Nu spreken ze even over inderdaad, referentie maken naar Reiner Fulmich en dan ook andere dingen, ook in de USA die volop bezig zijn. Maar ook bij ons in Nederland probeert advocaat Maas heeft nu ook weer botgevangen. In België hebben we al verschillende rechtszaken gehad en we botgevangen hebben, omdat natuurlijk het rechtssysteem niet helemaal, maar laten we zeggen 98% van het rechtssysteem moet ook hervormd worden en dat er heel veel corruptie ook achter zit en mensen die ook de kabaal moeten volgen, omdat ze gechanteerd worden of omdat ze geld te krijgen of andere dingen. Dus gelukkig hebben we nog een aantal goede rechters ook natuurlijk, maar de meesten natuurlijk zijn voor het ogenblik, ik weet niet waarom, maar goed, we gaan de juiste beslissingen gaan nemen op dit moment. En daar kijken ze naartoe. Dat gaat dus over wereldwijd hier.
Trials are going on, but of course they're not being reported about. So could we ask the cards about where we are with the legal system being able to actually bring some of this to a halt? Is that going to be one of the important ways that we stop this roller coaster?
Militaire tribunaals, dat is het enige die er gaat tegenhouden.
That was the wish, but I feel like some of it's been walked away from because they're discovering that the legal system's letting them down left, right, and center, which we've been seeing that for quite a while. This, in particular, the spotlight was in the US legal system for a while there with the shenanigans going on. And then also Canadian legal system, even just today, really let everybody down. Something like they're saying that it isn't our human right. So it was brought to the courts, and then they came back with they can, push things without exemptions. So it's like, no, so our legal systems also. So they're all.
We moeten het verder uitspitten. Ik ben er altijd de grootste voorstander van. We moeten duidelijk maken en zien welke rechters dat er inderdaad nog op het juiste pad zitten en welke dat er niet op het juiste pad zitten in die zin. En zodat we het weten naderhand wie dat er goed was en wie niet. Maar het zal zeker niet op die manier zijn dat we het gaan redden, mensen. Het zal de militairen zijn die gaan ingrijpen samen met de militaire tribunaals.
Corrupt, obviously, a whole bunch of them. But I feel like it's going to end up with some military action. Juan O'Savin's been saying that all along. This is the good guy military, because everybody's corrupt, right down to our legals.
Q heeft dat gezegd heel aan het begin. The only way is the military. The military is the only way. En dat zei je al zoveel jaren terug. Dus het is klaar en duidelijk. En we zien het ook, het is niks die werkt, behalve hopelijk de militairen die gaan kunnen ingrijpen.
Systems. They put the people they put in. I mean, if it was working properly, of course, all of this would have been thrown out a long time ago, but it's not working. And that government's enforcing these ridiculous things, absolutely know who's in their pocket and who isn't. So, yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's where people just need to, you have got to tackle it, but you can't just sit back and wait and assume that they've got this in hand, because unfortunately, however good their cases are, we know that doesn't mean a lot in a corrupt system.
I'm thinking some of them will work out when you've got a good judge who actually does the job. But if they're in the pocket of and they're being bribed and or they got something on the judge, which of course is going to be a lot of them, and they're part of the the deep state or dark cult. They're, guess what, going to be corrupt. So you're going to have, sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, okay, great. So, but there's some amazing lawyers really stepping up there.
Yeah.
And that's just, they're bringing a lot of awareness in other ways. So we're definitely giving them our support. Now, I have seen Edward Snowden has now got a Telegram channel.
Edward Snowden is die waar dat er ja, op de ene kant whistleblower gezegd wordt, aan de andere kant de slechterik die in Rusland op dit moment onder de doeken zit, ex-CIA. En nu zegt Catherine, zou er een Snowden zogezegd Telegram zijn, maar er worden heel veel Telegram-accounts gemaakt, mensen van zogezegd acteurs en toestanden, maar het is allemaal vals. Het is allemaal mensen die dat misbruiken.
Can we ask the cards whether that's a genuine one? There's been a lot of interest in that.
I don't know about that. Somebody might be working on the behalf of them. Like, I don't get it's false. It's representing maybe something that he would put out there, but this card's in the middle.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking, no, it's not actually him. You know what I mean? And
Right.
like,
Yeah.
when was what did we last hear about him? He's been through the ringer here, from what I can see.
It really has, and I think, you know, this is the thing, is it's like so difficult to, you know, him and Julian Assange, you know, it's just a constant roller coaster, and you're just thinking, God, why have these people not got more protection, considering the role they've had in terms of actually bringing things out into the open?
I got a feeling he was whisked away somewhere safe. This is a safety.
Right.
Looking from a distance. I think he's nodding to the whatever they're putting out on, but it's on his approval, but it's not literally him sitting.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
You know, his cards like to be really literal that way. But
That's good.
he's not against it, and it's not fabricated without his knowledge.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair enough. And you know, I would think he's a bit busy to be running his own Telegram channel, probably. Now, we've had a lot of questions this week about the UK Queen and when it is.
We spreken eens even over de UK koningin, zo gezegd. Maar goed, die er volgens ons al lang niet meer is. Wat dat er ook rondloopt, CGI-kloon, gemaskerd, noem maar op, maar ook acteur, noem maar op, ik weet niet wat dat is, maar in elk geval, het is al duidelijk met de verschillende foto's dat ze verleden hebben, dat zeker haar niet meer is. En nu stelt ze de vraag eigenlijk over haar in feite, of ja, die kloon of die dubbelhanger of wat dat ook is, die daar op dit moment rondloopt.
It's going to come out or be announced that she is no longer with us to the general public. So when are the
De vraag dat ze stelt is eigenlijk wanneer gaan ze nu een keer officieel zeggen, wat we al weten, dat ze er niet meer is, dat ze er effectief niet meer is, dat hij, zoals haar man daar, die gestorven is, dat ze effectief aankondigen dat ze er effectief niet meer is.
is going to be told that Queenie is no longer here.
They got a planned date they want to do this. It'll be on a really big celebration day. So they got a big plan. They want to do this. It'll be on a date that's going to be a big revelation. I feel like a celebration date. But I don't know if that's our celebrating or that bad guy celebrating. And we know October 31st is and all through October, there's all kinds of dates that are really dark culty.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll nod to her affiliations with the dark cult by taking her out on one of those dates.
Halloween
Yeah.
would be a good one, wouldn't it?
Right? Wouldn't that be interesting?
That would be very interesting.
Yeah, it's coming up. It's coming up.
Tussendoor mensen, Halloween, dat we vroeger niet kenden in Vlaanderen, ik denk ook niet in Nederland. Dat komt vanuit Amerika, denk ik. Dat is een pure dodencultus, satanische dodencultus, laten we zeggen, feest zo gezegd. Dus mensen, laat je kinderen daar niet meer aan meedoen aan die dingen van je haalt daar gewoon de demonen mee. Dat is gewoon energie voor hun. Dat is hun grote feestdag voor de demonische, satanische dodencultus, de kabbal. Dus wees dit, steek dat goed in je hersenen en doe daar zeker niet meer aan mee, mensen.
We're 70% to it, whatever that means. So
Yeah.
see, we got a plan for this. We got this planned.
Yeah.
They've been planning this for a really long time, it looks like, and they got a very specific date in mind.
Yeah. Okay, great. And then, yeah, it's really interesting. So obviously we think that a lot of, not just in the UK, but other royals across the globe are not currently who we think they are at the moment. Different people playing different parts in that. And it's interesting to see when they suddenly ping up as a distraction and then disappear off again.
Yeah.
So given the fact that quite possibly what we've been seeing is a complete act for quite some while in terms of not the real characters playing the parts, moving forward, is the plan that there will still be royals, even if it's people playing a part? You know, what is the plan for royals?
Ik denk persoonlijk dat er geen sprake meer gaat zijn van royals, van koningen en koning en zo verder. Dat gaat natuurlijk nog een tijd, dat gaat niet direct morgen weg zijn, die mensen, maar dat gaat nog een klein tijdje duren. We moeten eerst een oorlog winnen. We gaan naar heel andere structuren, naar hele kleinere structuren in feite, die een beetje stamachtige structuren. Maar goed, ja, het gaat misschien raar klinken, maar dat bedoel ik daar niet mee natuurlijk. Maar kleinere structuren die met elkaar gaan samenwerken. In feite niet meer laten we zeggen, globalistische idee van alles moet globaal zijn en groter. Nee, het zal juist omgekeerd zijn, alles wordt allemaal kleiner en kleiner. Dus koningen en wat is het allemaal, presidenten en wat is het allemaal, keizers en toestanden, dat zal er niks meer in komen te doen. Dat gaat allemaal verdwijnen, alles.
Moving forward,
Yeah.
they don't have them playing a role, or are they just going to be wiped out?
Okay, can I just mention something?
Yeah.
Catherine, so there was all of that talk before the big premiere of that movie where she really burned up, right? Okay, did you notice she almost looked surreal? She was so perfect that it was absurd. Okay, so where did she disappear? For 60 days, she wasn't seen at least 60 days straight. Okay, so did they clone her? Did they take her off the earth plane and find somebody and made them perfect with plastic surgery, and she needed time to recover whoever that's playing her? Because I thought the two of them looked surreal and not real. They didn't look real. They felt absolutely energetically false, like they were too perfect to be, and almost like on purpose too perfect. She's never looked that good. Come on. You know, she's a great looking lady, but that was absurd. It was almost like she was taller, she was more perfect. The outfit was stupendous.
Yeah.
How they looked. To the point of something's weird's going on. Not even a hair out of place. Like, and I know that's a big event. She would make sure but something was fishy, and that's just maybe my Scorpio moon going. So she disappears for that many days and then shows up like that. Interesting. Just want everybody to go look at some of those pictures.
Toutes les chaussures à 10 €. Les bottes et bottines Just Fab se déclinent dans tellement de couleurs et de styles différents.
I'm going to go look at those. I haven't seen those. I saw a gold dress, but I didn't really pay. It wasn't her. I was looking.
It was like over the top.
Yeah.
Something weird about them. Like they look like dolls. And we've seen Megan.
Dus de koningin was blijkbaar 60 dagen weg en ik volg dat niet, absoluut niet, nog nooit geweest, trouwens vroeger ook niet. Ik ben nog nooit geïnteresseerd geweest in koning, keizers, presidenten. interesseert me geen zier. Maar goed, blijkbaar zou ze 60 dagen buiten strijd geweest zijn en dan plots kwam ze terug op het strijdtoneel, de koningin. En ziet ze eruit zoals een pop, noemen ze haar. Dus perfect, super perfect. Ja, en ze heeft er kroon van gemaakt. Wat is het allemaal? Ja, we weten het niet.
Look like that too.
Yeah.
Now, interesting, all of a sudden they're showing Megan and she looks like she put on 40 pounds. I find that really, so are they ready to really, are they just making sport of Megan? Because guess what? Megan would never in a million years put on 40 pounds. She's in her 40s already. She would never do that. And we know she never had any of those kids.
Yeah.
So like, that's just fake. She would never be caught dead doing that. Not in a million years. That's not her. And it was almost overnight, apparently, that she put it on. Come on.
Oh, I've got to see those pictures too.
Oh yeah, she literally looks like they made her all pudgy, and it's like, okay, what are you guys doing?
Yeah.
But she would never do that. She's already in her 40s. She's never fluctuated like that in her whole.
Yeah.
If you've ever, give me a break. That's her number one concern, is her figure. She's not going to do that. That doesn't make sense. So they're doing something. They're gearing up for something. They're messing with them. All of a sudden, Catherine's on top.
It's hysterical. Can you imagine if you're sitting there watching that, how annoyed you'd be for that? That is absolutely brilliant.
Yeah. And not even a mention of the kids, really. Not really. And nobody's even seen a smidgen of the new one. Give me a break. I mean, some people are saying she's pregnant with 2 more, right? So she's in her 40s and she's having nonstop kids. That's about as absurd as it gets. Like, come on, you guys. Yeah. And I get it, because I was in my 40s when I had my son.
En waarschijnlijk de witte krachten die er volop mee bezig zijn met zodanig onnozel voor te stellen in feite dat toch de laatste slapers die dan meestal dan ook nog koningen, wauw, ja. Nee, normaal de wakkere leven onder ons, we hebben nog nooit van koningen of koninginnen moeten hebben. Nee, we waren al wakker genoeg op dit moment. En juist degenen die er dus zo aan houden in feite, aan dat soort situaties en die dat ook volgen, die krijgen zodanige zaken voorgeschoten dat ze toch hopelijk toch op een bepaald moment gaan wakker komen, dat dat niet meer de echte mensen zijn dat zij denken dat ze zijn.
But it was like a huge miracle, and I was being watched really carefully by a lot of medical people, and they were calling me a geriatric mom. So like, there's no way you're having multiple kids in your 40s. I mean, it's absurd. Okay, let's have a look. So now we're asking about the royals in general. How are they going to spin this? Okay.
Yeah, how are you going to spin this moving forward? You know, are you going to keep having actors, or are they going to come clean about them, or what?
It looks like they got a plan for their demise. And I've got this before. I feel like, this, I'm going to sound brutal here. So if you're a big royalist, you better get off the video right now. You're not going to like this. Okay, I feel like their plan might be to exit. I don't know exactly, literally, do they exit? I think they're already somewhere. Yeah. So they're going to exit the pretend people, so they're going to plan a false situation that looks like I get an accident of some kind. Yeah. And maybe 3 or 4 of them go at once. And I've got that before. I thought it would happen sooner, but it hasn't happened yet. Okay, so there's that. And they're still gauging, they're still finding usefulness for 3 of them. So I'm thinking that's William, the 3 we mostly see that really actually could look like they might be them, would be William, Catherine, and Prince Charles's wife.
Oh, Camilla.
Camilla. Yeah, she actually looks the most like it could actually even be her still. Yeah. William, definitely not him. And Catherine recently feels like she got exited somewhere. I don't know where they took her, what they did to her and the kids. I don't know I think now we're only going to see fake stuff from them, right? But we did see periodically real stuff there, especially with Kate,
Yeah.
and Camilla. And she's the last one that I feel you might even get glimpses of her real self. I'm not sure about that, but
Yeah.
they did a really great job replacing her.
Het komt erop neer dat ze dus eruit komen dat echt de Engelse royals, dus de gekende royals, dat die eigenlijk al niet meer de echte zijn dat je ziet. Als je ze nog ziet, je ziet ze bijna niet meer. Blijkbaar degene die ze volgen, zien ze blijkbaar niet meer. Maar ook komt het erop neer dat eigenlijk de echte niet meer zijn. Dat clones, dubbelhangers, acteurs, whatever. Maar dat zeker de echte niet meer zijn.
See, yeah, so this feels like it's a big, the next big thing, really huge, has to do with the guy they already know is Epstein's buddy there.
Yeah.
Andrew. So Andrew's absolutely, and this could be a water sign too, and we know that the other water signs in the family, I don't know if Andrew's a water sign, but William is, and so's, who's the other guy? Camilla's, I never remember. Charles. Okay, he's Scorpio. So these are scorpionic and they're very bad. Okay, so we used to think way back in the day, William was such a nice guy. Turns out he's could even be literally the Antichrist.
Yes.
Or they were planning it for him to be, I don't know how that works, but some big connection to the darkest cult member, and him and Charles are both in that way. Now, there's also a really interesting circulating story that when Diana left, she took her actual kids, and these kids aren't them anyway. So that may be helpful to people that really love the royals. And knowing Princess Diana, I mean, that people do say about her, she would never have left their kids.
Yeah.
So that is a possibility that all of that, I think, will come out. I think all of this, but I feel like they're going to take them out in a group, and maybe the Queen first, and then out goes the rest of them on some level.
I've always thought there's going to be that. I mean, it's the easiest way, isn't it, to deal with it, is to be some horrific accident involving a few of them and everything. So there's no way they're going to really. I don't think by this time next year you got a royal family, but that's just what I'm getting here. Yeah. Well, don't worry, I'll take care of the corgis. I'm not seeing them homeless. I love corgis. It's not your fault, corgis, at all.
I bet they've been already adopted out. That's what I'm getting.
I hope so. Good. As long as the corgis are right, then we don't really care about the rest. So. Right. There are a lot of pictures circulating on the internet about different coloured bloods, and the blood from the people being really dark. Now we know there's so many shades of grey along here, and some people.
Dus hier gaan ze nu even over inentingen praten. Dus dat is inderdaad al heel veel professoren, dokters, die dus het bloed van mensen die inent zijn bekijken, die heel andere bloedspiegel zien. Minder goed, uiteraard. En ten opzichte van de mensen die niet inent zijn, maar nu gaan ze eigenlijk ook naar voren brengen. En dat komt altijd maar verder naar voren bij Janine. Dat in feite in heel dat inentingsspel wereldwijd, dat er inderdaad slechte lots zijn, als ik het zo, loten zijn, en dan goede loten, dan placebo's, dan ook blijkbaar zoutoplossingen. Dus en ja, we weten niet waar is wat gebeurt in feite, maar we gaan nu verder luisteren, maar dat is eigenlijk de essentie van wat er gaat uitkomen.
Have got real things, some people haven't. But can we ask what's the significance of all these pictures of the different blood colours being shown from the things? And is that being circulated by the white hats or the black hats, or the good or the bad, however we want to call it? Because there's a lot of fear behind that.
Mm-hmm. Okay, a lot of that's false.
Yeah.
A lot of that's fear mongering on the part of, maybe on the behalf of the good guys.
Mm.
Maybe they're not literally in charge of that part of it, but they're trying to get, so I feel like the thing they're trying to do is show you the plan. The plan was to genocide humanity.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Want ze denkt dat er heel veel ook bij troevers dat we doen, dus die eigenlijk analisten en dergelijke, moet je ook oppassen, ook in onze regio's, als ik het zo mag uitdrukken, waar je aanvoelt dat er te veel angst gezaaid wordt, moet je echt afvragen wat dat wel juist is. Dus het kan ook in feite desinformatie zijn van de witte krachten, omdat het echte plan was inderdaad genocide. We weten dat van de Georgia Guidestones, dat er nog 500 miljoen mensen mochten achterblijven op deze aardbol. Dus dat is 90% van de mensen moesten verdwijnen. Dat is natuurlijk overgenomen door de witte krachten. Maar de witte krachten willen wel mensen wakker maken naar de Great Awakening, zodanig dat ze eigenlijk dat soort zaken moeten eigenlijk, tonen eigenlijk, en laten aanvoelen aan de mensen wat ze eigenlijk van plan waren. Dus dat is een heel complexe en een hele moeilijke materie, dat we nu nog niet volledig 100% kunnen begrijpen, want we krijgen niet voldoende puzzelstukken om het allemaal te begrijpen. Maar het is dan in die richting dat we moeten denken.
They don't want that to go unnoticed. They can't let the war go by and fight a war quietly in the background, not let humans know what was in store for them and what these guys have been up to and what they've been doing. We will not wake up unless we know all of that stuff. So as a humanity. Yeah. So brutal truths are going to have to come out, and it's already been coming out. Like a lot of people know now that that's a dangerous thing and that they plan. So, but I don't think, and I'm just going to be honest in my opinion, I don't agree with the people saying literally thousands are going to leave the earth plane if they had that. Yeah. I don't see it. I'm not seeing it. I got hundreds of people around me who have, like, almost all my friends and relatives, not my close, like, obviously people that came to my party were all like me-minded, except for a couple. One was my sister and her friend. And that's great, right? And that was so sweet that they showed up and they knew what they were in for, because everybody was talking what we talk about. Okay, so that was really kind of my sister to show up and support her sister, and that's one of my sisters, and I absolutely love her for that. But she's deeply immersed in the system and with all the things that go along with that. And then there's literally hundreds of people I could name that have had the you know what, and it touched a couple of them, and nothing's happened to them. Yeah. So I'm gonna say, there's pockets of, and then somebody else knows 5 people that literally everything went wrong after. I get that. But then there's 10 more stories of there's nothing happened to any of these people over here. So that's weird. Do you know what I mean? I think there's booby trap batches. And they've let some of them go, or maybe they couldn't stop all of it. And so it's wreaking havoc in little pockets. Absolutely it is. But it's nothing like the numbers. That's what anyway, when I do it, that's just my opinion from the cards. I agree. I'm not saying those guys are wrong. I think it was the plan. And we need to know what the plan was. So a lot of these stories that go out could come from this isolated incident over here. These, they took 5 people from this batch's blood, and there's some big, of course, but they can make anything. We've seen it. They exaggerate everything. Both sides are doing it.
I think this is the thing, isn't it, Janine? It's so, both sides are doing it, and therefore.
Dat is waar hoor, dat vind ik wel spijtig van onze kant, dat er ook aan onze waarheidszoekerkant ook bepaalde mensen zijn die constant eigenlijk angst zaaien. Je mag de realiteit nu wel brengen natuurlijk, ik doe dat ook, maar je mag geen angst zaaien mensen. Hè. Dat heeft geen enkele zin, we moeten onze vibraties juist hoger brengen. Dus met eigenlijk per se angst te zaaien, ga je daarmee niks bereiken, je gaat alleen maar de mensen nog naar beneden duwen. De realiteit moet brengen, maar je moet dat op een manier brengen als waarheidszoeker, op een manier dat de mensen het begrijpen en dat ze niet in een angst komen, maar dat ze wel de realiteit begrijpen. Dat is een heel andere manier van brengen mensen.
It's a message again that you just still can't believe anything that you're saying. You've got to go with what you're saying with time and what you're experiencing, because otherwise anything you see, good or bad, because there's a tendency if you see something good on the mainstream to believe it. Yeah, the definition of good, but we just don't know. There's so much manipulation everywhere, isn't there? So, so on that note, there is quite a few prominent sports stars now that are standing up.
Ja, meer en meer dus, laten we zeggen, beroepssporters eigenlijk op heel hoog niveau beginnen zich nu compleet uit te spreken tegen de inentingen, tegen heel de situatie. Dat is natuurlijk goed nieuws. Dus ik bedoel daarmee beroepsvoetballers, beroepstennissers, noem ze maar allemaal op. In alle landen en in alle richtingen. Dus komen meer en meer naar boven in feite dat ze niet akkoord zijn.
Up and saying no, they won't. So there's tennis stars that are going to be left out of the Australian Open because they won't comply. In the UK, we've got quite a lot of Premiership footballers that are saying, no, I won't. And then they're sort of really putting the pressure on them and sort of saying, well, you'll be dropped from the England team and things. So with these prominent people, because we've obviously had a lot of celebrities that have been supporting the agenda, we're now starting to see more mainly on the sports side of things that are not supporting the agenda. Is that going to make a difference? Is this significant?
Okay, so they tried to buy out all of those people's talents. They also, went back on a promise. So maybe the promise was, so the bad guys promised none of them would have to have it, but they had to support it because they knew what it was and what was.
Dus de vraag is in feite dat er heel veel beroepssporters die nu in feite zeggen, oké, we gaan niet akkoord met het systeem, we gaan niet akkoord met de inenting. Daardoor mogen ze dan niet meedoen aan tennissers aan een Open Championship in Australië. Andere de beroepsvoetballers in de UK die dan ook laten we zeggen, gechanteerd worden. De vraag was in feite van Katrien, zal er eigenlijk een grote, laten we zeggen, wijziging brengen in feite? Ik denk het wel. Ik denk dat dat heel belangrijk is dat dat soort mensen zich uitspreken. Dus nu gaan we verder luisteren naar Janine.
Was coming down the pipe. Okay, you better believe all the politicians that are pushing it never got it.
Oh God, yes.
Blah, 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 right? And you can even see that they're actually exempt. If that doesn't say everything to normies, then they're more foolish than we thought. Do you know what I mean? Like literally look at who they're saying doesn't need to. Why does anyone?
The whole of Pfizer and the whole of all the companies that have made it are all exempt from having it. I mean, it just is.
Dat klopt. We hebben iemand bij ons die bij een afgeleide van Johnson & Johnson op een hoog niveau zit. En inderdaad, die kregen van Johnson & Johnson de verplichting om zich niet in te enten. Dus je moet goed luisteren wat ik zeg. Zij mogen zich niet laten inenten. Ja, moeten nog zout zijn, mensen.
It would be laughable if it wasn't so horrendous, you know. So yeah.
Did you guys see that? Also, there was that Pfizer guy that was caught on. So somebody went out for drinks with him.
Ja, maar ik ga opzoeken, mensen. Dus Project Veritas heeft weer terug een undercover gedaan met een die bij Pfizer werkt. Dat ze wat bars, wat drank, wat babbelen en zo verder. En dan zei je letterlijk dat immuniteit veel sterker is dan gelijk welke Pfizer of gelijk welke inenting. En ze hebben dat allemaal, ja, dat is natuurlijk viraal wereldwijd aan het gaan. Dus ja, dus de waarheid is echt ongelooflijk.
Probably a friend of yours who was on the fence and got him talking after a few drinks. And so he basically said, your immune system's way better than what you can do, and that we had to sign a non-disclosure. He was spilling it, all the goods that we already know. And then they got him on film doing that. And then somebody looked him up and went and showed him the film footage that's gone viral since then. A TikTok went viral of this guy sitting at a bar, and he didn't even know he'd been filmed saying those things. And so you better believe the guy took off out of the video clip of this guy that sat down with him and was like, "Oh, are you so-and-so from Pfizer?" The guy was like, "What?" And it was hilarious. He met up with him in a bar actually and said, "Is anyone sitting here?" And then proceeds to tell him and show him the TikTok, and the guy freaks out and leaves. You can be sure he's been fired since then, but unbelievable. But anyway, so these guys, somebody went back on their word, or they started having a conscience and realized they were being used for the dark, right? Yeah, because we know a lot of them are compromised anyway, a lot of these really big stars, not every one of them, but a whole lot of them. Okay, so to varying degrees, right? Yeah. So I feel like some of them grew a conscience and others of them actually got told they would have to have it. Because remember, the good guys took over a lot of these ops. So all of a sudden the good guys probably said, oh, by the way, you guys are all getting it too. And because remember, everything got flipped, a whole bunch of stuff got flipped in the background. So they were originally promised by the bad guys, they wouldn't have to, but they had to promote it. Then they promoted it maybe at first, then they started realizing they're going to have to get it too. Oh, oops, a whole different story. Me and my family have to get it. Okay, it's bad then because I just did I know how bad it is because these guys made it.
Yeah, and I think there have been. I mean, some of them have been really standing up for a long while and had a lot of stick, and it's just incredible. I think they must be divinely protected in some way because they've really stood up against the grain and had so much hard work. But what's so disappointing is to see some of the ones that are still going along with the narrative because that shows they are well and truly compromised. Because they're not that stupid. I mean, sports people are so in tune with their bodies, you know, that's not a lack of understanding side of things.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. So I wanted to, I don't know if you've asked this on one of your other ones, but the Facebook whistleblower woman.
Ja, er is daar een vrouw boven gekomen, zogezegd de whistleblower van die tegen Facebook, een hogere manager van Facebook, een vrouw, die zegt, ja, maar ja, ze zouden meer censuur moeten doen op Facebook en nu zou dat voor het parlement komen in Amerika voor nog meer censuur. Dus ja, er worden daar bepaalde die zeggen dat is een pure zwarte kracht en die dat misbruiken eigenlijk, want als ze die dame bekijken, ja, komt ze uiteindelijk een zwarte krachtenfamilie. Nee, maar het is tamelijk, ja, hoe kan ik zeggen, surprising, maar dat er hier uit Janine's kaarten komt.
Yeah, I've been looking at that. Yeah, I'm going to ask that on the tarot by Janine in depth, but yeah, let's have a little peek at it. So is she a plant?
Yeah.
Decided really on. A lot of people don't trust her, including Mr. T apparently.
Yeah.
Or is he just saying that? Or they could be just spinning it.
I think it's the whole thing. It's just like
they got the 5D chess going on, or they just
Ja, ze zeggen nu ook weer dat het erg complex is. En wat ik altijd zeg, ja, we hebben maar 15 puzzelstukjes voor een puzzel samen te leggen van 1000 stukken. Daar moeten we dan een beeld van maken die op het wat trekt. Natuurlijk ja, bijna onmogelijk in mensen. Dus we moeten veel hersenen en veel nadenken en kritisch zijn. En, ja, het is gigantisch complex om iets naar voren te kunnen brengen die eigenlijk steek houdt. Maar goed, intuïtie, gevoel, ons hart laten spelen ook. En veel luisteren wat er overal gebeurt. Verschillende opinies volgen. Wat ik doe, ja, 3 à 7 uur per dag normaal gezien. Dus ja, daar kun je dan een bepaald gedachte uit destilleren. Is dat daarvoor juist? Misschien niet, we gaan zien. Maar zelf zeggen ze ook, ja, het is gigantisch complex. Hè. Wie moet je geloven? Desinformatie, nee. Propaganda, zaken die misbruikt worden om bepaalde zaken door te duwen, zowel door de witte krachten als zwarte krachten. Dus ja.
I never got past drafts, so that's all above me.
Yeah, it's all over my head too. Thank goodness I got the cards to help me figure it out.
I know. Thank goodness you have got the cards to help us all. Yeah.
Okay, this is really interesting. Okay, so she originally, like, even though they're saying all of these things about her background, she actually is coming from integrity.
That's my favourite card, that one, because it's got the little black cat there. I love
it. They want you to believe. So they planted all the stories about her being fake. So we got 5D chess, and they got something up their sleeve down the road where that's going to come in really handy. I have no idea what it is. Yeah, she was approached by the good guys to come on board with them and do this little stunt.
Volgens Janine is het een witte krachtenoperatie. We gaan zien. Het is, ik heb heel veel andere analisten heel andere zaken naar voren laten horen brengen met details. Dus we zullen zien. Het is complex, mensen. We luisteren naar verschillende opinies.
Also to appear like somebody who's a bad person. person. So they made sure that she had the right contacts, or they could trace back, or they could at least fudge that she had those contacts, because right, they're saying she's coming from interesting family lineages and et cetera, et cetera. So this was all a double take. We're gonna pretend she's good to pretend she's bad, so you think the bad guys, but blah blah blah. Yeah,
well,
you gotta.
The whole of Barack Obama's history, and if the whole of the world has believed it for so long, they can easily make up a few dirty.
Ja, als eigenlijk Barack Obama, Hussein, helemaal hebben veranderd van identiteit. Volgens dat het was geen Amerikaan. Dus ja, dan kunnen ze natuurlijk wel een dametje van Facebook ook helemaal andere identiteit geven, helemaal anders laten voorkomen dan dat realiteit is.
Rumors about someone that wants to spill the beans. I mean, it just, it's so easy for them to do it. So easy for them to Photoshop and everything. But interesting, I was just speaking just before we came on to a really good guy who works with some health products I like, and I love him and love his wife because I think they're so integral. Oh, but you know, one of the points that he was saying, and it's been the position in my career as well, so she's worked in the pharmaceutical industry for a long while, and therefore when you've actually been on the inside, you really do know what's going on. So sometimes you have to be in the dirt to actually be able to really understand just how things are, and it's really important. So everyone sort of can automatically dismiss someone because they've worked for this, or they've spoken to that person, or they've been in a party, but that's why they've got a lot of the information that they've got, isn't it? They've been there.
Oh yeah, you better believe it. They need the insiders. That's why they picked Mr. T.
Exactly.
He knew all of those people, and he knew, you know, he knew what was going on.
Yeah. Absolutely, it's unbelievable. So I saw also in your neck of the woods that there's a thing that in Quebec, the doctors that are not complying to this are going to have their licenses suspended by the 15th of October. I mean,
en nu gaat er ook weer een angstzaaierij rond in Quebec en Canada dat alle dokters die zich niet laten inenten tegen 15 oktober allemaal hun licentie zouden kwijtspelen. En Janine kijkt of dat correct is.
It's just horrific what's happening to these people. Can we ask the cards what's going to happen with that? You know, it's just so awful.
Dat is niet door, mensen.
I can't believe if anyone would see that headline, that it wouldn't be the biggest red flag.
Yeah, they want you to believe it's the bad guys are still in control. So you'll fear what's coming and start standing up for your rights. Yeah, it's absolutely a fake.
Right.
Not really going to happen. I believe it'll be halted just in time, or it gets backed up on, because all of this stuff's getting backed up. All of this stuff that I'm thinking sometime in October. I think they named October what they named it for a reason. I think this is stop time, stop the BS time, because red is stop.
Yeah, absolutely. I should have been color coordinated with you, shouldn't I? I've got this wrong tonight. You go and do a quick check.
Ja, ze ziet iedereen een kans als afsluiting. Zegt Janine, ja, het is in feite red oktober, dus rood is het stopteken. Stop met al de bullshit, al de zever. In feite, laat de realiteit finaal naar boven komen.
So, yeah, oh, how fantastic. Yeah. Well, my final question is a bit on a lighter note, really. Are we going to see, in October, are we going to see someone that we significantly positive, famous, that we think has passed over, come out and reveal that they're still alive?
Ja, nu gaan ze even nog door of dat, ja, dat is typische vraag dat graag in feite dat bepaalde mensen zoals Prince of Michael Jackson of Elvis Presley, ik weet niet wie dat ze nu bedoelen, je moet maar zelf een keer gaan kijken mensen, maar ik vind dat niet zo interessant persoonlijk. We zullen wel zien als ze boven komen, hoera, hoera, zo niet, ja. Maar dat vind ik niet zo interessant. Dus ik ga hier mijn filmpje stoppen, mensen. Hopelijk had je terug iets aan al die antwoorden, die vragen en antwoorden van Janine. En dus vergeet niet het tuimpje te zetten als je er iets aan gehad hebt, mensen. Abonneren, heel veel abonneren natuurlijk, zoveel mogelijk, zodat ik naar live sessies zou kunnen gaan met jullie, interactief. Dat ik echt zou willen doen in de toekomst. En dus ook het notificatiebelletje dat je altijd maar ingelicht wordt van als er terug nieuwe filmpjes zijn. En delen mensen, delen. Ik zie dat veel te weinig. Delen mensen, delen. Dat andere mensen ook kunnen luisteren naar wat we willen vertellen. Je moet het niet doen voor mij, maar doe het voor al die andere mensen die daar ook iets aan hebben. Oké, dank u wel voor al wat je doet, beste vriendinnen en vrienden. En tot binnenkort, tot het volgende filmpje. Dag.